Welcome to It's Just Tech. Wow, we haven't been on here together in a while, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot is going on.
Yeah.
So we took a tour last week. Where's the tour?
Well, the tour was in Mountain View, California.
Yeah, it was. Oh, but hold on. Don't give them away the rest yet. So let's back up a minute. Have you ever had a $1 billion idea?
Yeah, because I'm not worth $1 billion.
Oh, much, much more than that.
Well, I mean, like, when I say worth, I mean, like, how much money you have
right now in your account. So you you haven't realized the dream
yet.
I'm
worth $500.
Okay, in the account.
Yes.
Okay. So, you know what? I wonder when people have these life-changing events, because, you know, there's a group of people that are just born into very, 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 very wealthy families, and that's their life path. But there's some people who are just born regular, maybe like you and I, and come up with an idea that becomes a billionaire idea. So there's a lot of people that can be named in that category, right?
Yeah, like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all the other successful businessmen that are really and women that are very successful and very smart. Most likely they weren't born into a rich family. I don't know why, but it's mostly always that case. Yeah, exactly. So in this case, I think somebody or two somebodies had a billionaire idea. And how do we know it was a billionaire idea? Because when they started off, they were just two regular people, kids going to Stanford University. Yeah. And so at that point, it wasn't necessarily a billionaire idea. They didn't know that, but it was an idea. Yeah. And they're like, oh, let's just help a few people. Let's just make a thing. They worked all night. Oh, no, I don't know if they worked all night. They probably just worked a few minutes. Just thinking of, Google. No, that sounds too weird. Google. And he was like, that's a jackpot. And then they're like, yeah, okay, let's use that. And chose that. They funded for it and started off. Yeah. So you kind of just start down the path. And a lot of people don't understand this. The only reason why a business or a business idea ever fails, there's only one reason. Do you happen to know what the one reason is? And I'll give you a hint, it's not lack of money. It's not lack of funding, which most people say, oh, they ran out of money. No, that's not it. What is the one thing that stops an idea or a business cold in its step and never moves forward again? I don't know. Do you know? Yeah, you know, it's sometimes people really need to wrap their hand around this. It's when the founder or the person who created the idea gives up. True. As long as they don't give up, they can keep going. And we really have seen this many times with Elon Musk, as he has his huge ideas that cost gazillions of dollars. He never gave up. And even when there wasn't funding and he needed new rounds, it was him that kept going out there and pushing to get the funds to move the next step. But if any point he would have given up, then the idea wouldn't have persisted. It's not the funding, it's the creator or the idea or the founder giving up. And there's a big difference between companies who are founded and run by the founder versus acquired or run by somebody who wasn't their core baby. They don't put as much into it, and you can see those businesses just kind of skate for a while. They don't have the innovation. They miss out on a lot of the bumps. They just kind of skate until they fizzle. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's just like how life works, just like that. And let me tell you when. 1998, 1998. That time was the time of the birth of Google. That's when Google started off.
I don't know if they did a good start or a bad start, but we can check, you can check, everyone can check.
You're right. So there's many people can actually remember a time without the internet at all. Can you remember that?
My dad, well, I can't, but my dad can. He's like ancient.
Yeah, ancient, huh?
He was walking back in his day. Physics wasn't invented yet. He was walking up the hill to school
and up the hill to go home.
Up the hill to go home.
That's good. So there was a period of time, which has been most of history, where we didn't have an option of the internet. In fact, Yahoo was really a turning point. Before that, we had Excite at Home. That was a big one, and AOL has been around. And AOL is really known for dial-up as well as Earthlink. LOL, no, AOL. Yeah, ancient. And the dial-up, and you could actually hear the computer dialing to make a connection. And the pictures would not pop in or buffer. They would come in line by line by line, and you'd have to wait for it to fill in on your screen. So anyways, Yahoo created a search engine and had an email associated with it. And that was really a turning point. And that came out of here, out of Silicon Valley. And I lived many places around the world, and I'd have to write letters and wait for the letters to get there. But finally having Yahoo, I could send an email and ask if there was going to be a room in the hotel, or get a confirmation, or send notes back to my family. If I were to call on the phone, it would cost an outrageous amount of money. So this opened up a lot of doors, but then came along these two guys from a PhD program at Stanford, Larry and Sergey, and in 1996, I think is when they started it, and then maybe in 98 is when they filed. I'm not sure that the years in there, but finally they filed for their IPO. I think it was right about 2004-ish. The dates, I'm pausing here because I'm even on Wikipedia, and the dates are different from page to page.
They got billionaires just in like, let's see, 19 years.
Pretty fast, huh?
Dang.
And then they even changed the name of Google to Alphabet, which we still mostly refer to it as Google. But they came up with this idea, and the big difference between Google and Yahoo, do you know what that was?
Google better.
Well, it was said to be faster, and it would tell you it's faster because it would show how many seconds it took to find the search. But Yahoo would have a page full of advertisements. So you would go to this page and you would type in your question, and then it would come back with the results based on its search. Google used a different type of algorithm, which was meant to be faster, but their page was blank. It was just white, nothing else except for the words Google. And I think it said search on it. That's it, nothing else, no other advertisements. And then they would charge once the next page came up, there might be a header, or for it, the top 5 spots now are ads, and you have to go search lower for the more natural or organically created searches because they're paid up. But that's the big difference between Yahoo and Google. Yeah,
but like the thing is, like, I kind of like it when there's no ad, because like every single search engine, there's just you can barely even see the search bar. There's so many ads. Like there's like ads covering every single pixel of it, and that's what I like about Google. The only kind of, well, it's not even really ad. They just customize their logo to like someone's death, someone's remembering someone's death, someone's birthday, someone's famous birthday and stuff like that.
Oh, the doodles.
The doodles.
Yeah.
Google Doodles.
Yeah, they'll change that, huh? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But they still keep the plain white search, right? And so that was really unique and a turning point. And then, of course, they launched their own Gmail. And then people moved from the old Yahoo system to the Gmail. And there was an exodus of engineers, too. And that's a story that I've told on another segment, but we'll go into that another time. But it's been really interesting to see the movement of talent into the different directions in Silicon Valley as funding moves if you're a top engineer, you want to stay with the top company, right?
Yeah.
The pioneering focus.
And so, yeah, and we got there. It was really cool. And you might be thinking, what's special about that? Nothing special. Yeah, it's just a search engine. Yeah, it might just be a search engine. But, well, what makes it special? They have a bunch of cool buildings there. Like they just have.
Oh yeah, let's pull up some of the pictures from our tour.
Yeah.
And while you're pulling it up, so we talked a little bit about the who the two guys were who had a billionaire idea. And I wonder in comments below if anybody's had a billionaire idea, if they want to post that below, because as it's really interesting. There's something with the universe. Once you declare your idea, it can come to you that much faster. So we'll see what kind of billionaire ideas people have here. And okay, so what do we got here? You know, something else that's interesting while you're pulling that up is two of the most visited sites on the whole internet are Google and YouTube. And you know, Google actually acquired YouTube. And so they're the same company. And they're run very differently, but they're all under the same alphabet umbrella. And then, of course, some of the things that we're going to look at here, Waymo is their autonomous vehicle drone segment. They had a segment called, let's see here, Sidewalk for Smart Cities, Transformer Models, which is Google Brin. And what else did they have? Oh, they have a drone segment, quantum computing, Sycamore. They've got, it's really interesting when you go inside the building. For Alphabet, they've got an A and then a B and the C, etc. on the wall. And each one of those is signed to a company. So as I'm naming these off, you've got G for Google, Y for YouTube, W for Waymo, etc., filling up the board of all their different companies. Now, of course, they had Loon, and Loon went back home. The manufacturer of the Loon was out of South Dakota, and they are now monitoring our skies via Department of Defense contracts. Okay, are we having technical problems?
Yeah.
Okay. Are all the pics gone?
It just won't let me get to it.
It won't let you screen share that segment?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see it.
Okay. It has been solved. I just messed up and put something on the keyboard and made it not let me do it. Okay, so like you may say, like this. Look how cool that is. Look at that. That's just a piece of art.
Like, I'd like to know how many billions they paid for that art. Really, it probably wasn't in the billions. But while we were all closed down doing lockdowns, this campus expanded and they made one of the most dynamic buildings ever. And in front of the building, which we're going to show in another picture, they put this massive, massive art piece. It is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, yeah, like they have this. They even have money to spend the Google Street View, where they just take pictures of people and even maybe pedestrians and houses. So yeah. So
Google Street View is really interesting. This is much older than the Waymo program. And in fact, driving around Silicon Valley, because of the drive to be first, for lack of a better word of using drive, they're using cars to map the roads. Now, originally we had something called TomTom, and it would be a little device that you would put in your car and it'd help you with GPS. But as companies like Google move forward, you would see them just driving around town throughout the Midwest. They'd have teams that would just go on the roads and stay in hotels and keep driving. And they put these cameras on the top of the car. And as they went down the road, they would map the road. They would get images of the houses, of the cars, of the people. And yeah, most of the time they would blur out the people's faces, but that was usually after a lawsuit. But yeah, so this Google Street View was literally pictures of different streets.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what else is going on. So, and it would show on a map. That's why there's that insignia for the map drop.
And well, we went looking for those good statues. Well, they even originally were. Look, we saw the sign. We didn't see the sign at first. We just walked around like, bro, they melted. I wanted to see them. And then like, so we just took out there and that sign was there. So we
Yes, so that's cool because they've always had all the characters, because each iteration of the platform had a little Android character assigned to it, whether it was an ice cream cone or an ice cream sandwich. It was always sweets. And they had all of those statues in one location, but that place was torn up. We got over there and it was torn up, huh?
Yeah, and so well, my two favorite ones are the ones that have these jelly beans in them. I that makes me hungry. Oh no! And then we have the lollipop.
Pretty cool. And those are right on the corner across from the main, actually the old main Googleplex, which is now actually behind it there on the left. We'll see another picture of that in a little while. But this one is across the street from what's been known as the Googleplex building. And in the Googleplex, it's pretty awesome because they have sleeping pods, they have pool tables, they have all-you-can-eat restaurants. They've got something that I call maybe a 7-Eleven, but it's not really. It's just you can go in and grab whatever you want as long as you're a Google employee. You can get anything you want on campus to eat. They'll do dry cleaning, haircuts. They even have food trucks that they own. So they have their own food trucks that you can go use your badge to get food from. Perfect. Yeah, you can see there, since you zoomed it in a little bit, that's great. On the left side there, the picture of the new building that they built while everybody was on lockdowns. Okay, let's see another image here.
Right over there.
Yep. And remember, as we come around the corner, we got some video of it too. Did you pull that in?
No. And yeah, I saw the sign. I smacked it. I don't know why. I just wanted to. Cause I like doing stuff like that. I smacked it and put it back where it was placed like that. Well, I actually smacked it back in place, but then I put it back to where it originally was. So I did a good deed and then put it back. Okay, so then yeah, that's cool and all, but like some people say the Google Lake.
Yeah, so this is Shoreline Lake. Shoreline Lake is really interesting because can you show the picture of the gatehouse we have to go through to get there? So right on the back end of the Google campus, which Google campus has a whole, oh, thank you. Okay, I'll bring that up in just a minute here. Google campus, just like Apple, they've got, I don't even know the counts now, probably hundreds, but over 100 different buildings around the campus. They just bought up everything they could. And with Apple, it'd be Apple 1, Apple 2, or the street name, most of them don't have insignias either, so you don't know. With Google, the majority linked to this campus does in fact have some kind of insignia, or you know it. When we get over to the other campus, I'm going to show you how you find that one. But once you go past the campus, they actually have something called Shoreline Amphitheater, and that's where all the big singers come in. So if you want to listen to a concert, you would it's right behind the campus. But then behind that is this welcome, and it looks like you're going to a prestigious country club. And behind the sign there, they always keep the bushes high enough. It actually says it's open to the public, but they don't want the public back there. So they try to keep it to themselves. And when you drive in there, what do you see as we're driving around back there?
Well, we just see these bunch of signs and construction signs and stuff like that, just everywhere. Like
a lot of construction, but back behind this, when we get over there, there's a big golf course.
Yeah.
And there's a big white house. The old farmhouse that you can tour.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and then they've got bike trails. And then the lake. So let's go back to that lake. So this is the boat ramp for the lake. During the summer, there's all kinds of fun camps there. The lake is, I don't know how long the trail is, but you can go all the way out the trail to the point where you get to the bay and walk along the bay and back. So it's really an awesome place to to be. This is part of the boathouse there, flying the American flag, which I did not see one of those on the Google campus. Did you? Maybe we just missed it.
Oh, yep, we missed it. I don't know why. We just missed it. Like, we totally just didn't look everywhere. We just missed it.
What's that line across the top? The white line. I didn't even see that when we were there. So that's a reflection from the sun.
That's the sun. The sun messed up my photo. I should have known and shouldn't took that. I'm a good photographer, by the way. Hashtag good photographer.
Okay, what's the next picture we have here?
Next picture.
So this is their fun and games.
And then we also have, well, goggle bikes.
So they have these bikes all over the campuses, right? So you can ride from one building to the other. They also have different cars that you can ride. And then, of course, they do something called dog food. And that's where they eat their own. And so that would be like a Waymo autonomous vehicle coming and picking up them and driving them from building to building or campus to campus. But the bikes are usually quick and easy to grab. You just grab one and go with it. And they're cool colors. So somebody knows that they've been stolen, right? They kind of stand out. So for the most part, they're just around the campus. Okay, what's the next one?
And well, did you know that they have a Google campus show by YouTube? Because they have, well, Google owns YouTube, so yeah.
Nice. So yeah, YouTube, their main campus has already been up north, and I didn't do research before we grabbed this. I think the main campus was up in Redwood City, and it looked like an office building. It wasn't anything spectacular from the outside, but it was the YouTube headquarters. And I noticed here on this campus now they have a big YouTube building as well. So I don't know if they've moved their headquarters or if in fact this is just another satellite office. From the looks of it, it looks like it could have been a major move here.
Tell people in the comments whose is better, mine or YouTube, because I am better draw. I'm just better like that. You know what I mean? I'm just better like that. Tell me. I know I'm better. Okay, and then we have the and did you know that we actually have they actually have a place that's called
Moffett Field. Moffett Field is it's always been a military base, but the main leaseholder or maintenance of this is Google, and it has been for many years. They do autonomous vehicle testing out there. They have a lot of their private airplanes out there.
And they have a golf place. And yeah, when my dad's friends works at Google, and like they only have to pay like $10 to go there. We had to pay like 20. Oh no, 15, since my dad's a government worker and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yep. So they've got a lot of perks there, but this Moffett Field is just a few exits down from where their main campus is. So it's really fast for them to get over there, either do testing. It looks like they're the ones in charge of revamping the wind tunnel. And then, of course, quick takeoffs if they need to. Now, some of the other pictures we took and videos we took, I didn't quite see there. One of them was the picture of the people collecting all the bikes in the big trailer.
Oh.
And across the street from that in the median was a sign that says do not cross, and there's a big gate. Do you remember why I told you that gate was there?
No. Well, why was that gate there?
Because so many of the Google employees would be looking down on their phones and not looking where they're walking. There were accidents. So they make them go around and use the crosswalk. And even while we were waiting at the light, there was somebody crossing the street with their eye on their phone the whole time, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about the Google X? Where's Google X?
Wait, what is Google X?
The big yellow X. We left the campus and went down the street to go to that one.
Did you know that my mom worked at Google for a little bit, and they have a thing named X and X, and it has Waymo cars because my mom worked it with Waymo cars.
So Googleplex is one of their top secret facilities, and it's designated not by Google, but it has a big yellow X on it. And we took some pictures of that building, and that's where the home of the Waymo vehicle had been for many years. They housed them there, and we took a picture of the garage that they would come out of, the testing platform up above, and then also that's what they would use to go out on the streets. And what's really interesting, these are autonomous vehicles, and they would go out and drive with the public on the roads. And a lot of the public didn't quite appreciate the testing of such robots on their same streets. But it was a really dynamic program, and the DevOps team was absolutely phenomenal to work with. Therefore, there was a lot of confidence in the testing that they were doing. They also had undisclosed locations that were, of course, off street, where they would test an alpha before the beta got rolled out to the streets.
Yeah, so it's really amazing. So like, look, these things. Broski can buy like 10 million bikes. Broski can buy a car that just sit there, and he can just buy these multi-million dollars, probably not $1 million, but like being overpriced, really expensive things that you slap on top of your front yard just because you want everything to look good.
Exactly. So here's a pop quiz. What is the one only reason why a business fails?
Because when like everything's getting hard and they're not getting funding, if the company CEO stays strong and does not give up, it's not gonna fail. But if he gives up, the company gives up.
Exactly. When the founder gives up, the company will fail. As long as that founder does not give up, it will not fail.
Yes.
Exactly. So these two guys had a billionaire idea while they were in their PhD program at Stanford University, got funded, and run with it. So I ask again, do you think you can come up with a billionaire idea?
Maybe.
Do you think you got one in the back of your pocket already?
Maybe.
Maybe anybody wants to comment below with some of their billionaire ideas, but don't give away the secret. Just a general idea, huh?
And maybe subscribe and like if you want to.
Okay, well, thank you for coming back to It's Just Tech. We've got a few more videos that we put together, and they'll be rolling out this week as well.
And just look to us if you want to know. Okay. See you in the next video, guys.
It's Just Technical, live from Silicon Valley, California.
再见, amigos.